Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and in the studio with me, I have someone I picked up hitchhiking on the way into work this morning. No, I'm teasing. Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn, my lovely hostess.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
I am doing really, really good. I'm looking forward to this episode. It's a continuation from another episode that somebody asked a question, and we're having NDEers answer the question. So it has been really enlightening. I've really enjoyed this episode. And we're going to continue on with it because there was so many answers to this one question. So thank you for all your answers. I mean, it wasn't our question, of course, but, thank you to those that answer these questions because it gives us such insight into what happens after this realm that we're in.
Yeah, very good. Very well said. Very well said. So with that thought in mind, before we begin, don't forget to check out the website.
That's NDE.world.
Very good. Yeah. See, even Daphne remembers the website, guys. I mean, come on.
I can remember. Yay.
No. I'm teasing. NDE.world, of course. And we got tons of information on what we do as far as like our podcasts and episodes and lots of different topics and subjects. And, you want to touch base, comment, or anything you want to do, interact or whatever, just let us know. There's a lot of information on there. I got some really cool videos coming out, too. We had just finished producing one, so it should be up here really soon. We'll over the next day or two, I think we're going to have that one on the website as well. So
yeah, even if you don't go straight to the contact page, if you're like scrolling down and you see a share your experience, that link takes you directly to the contact page.
Yes.
So that's a quick way to give us suggestions for topics or ask questions. You want to share your experience?
We would love to have you on the show if you got a story to tell. It doesn't just have to be an NDE experience. It could be. That's awesome. Bring on the near-death experiences, but also
OBEs,
anything. Yeah.
I mean, spiritual encounters. I mean, just different things.
Anything
We have some guests lined up that have had some experiences.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get these guys on. We got some people coming on. It's got some really awesome stories to share with you guys. So, but anyway, why don't we get you to go ahead and read the question? And of course, like Daphne said, this is a part 2. Yeah, so go ahead and check out the first part, and then we're actually picking up today with that. A continuation of that, that
the
first
answers
episode.
to that question. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the actual question, and then we'll just pick up with the comments where we left off yesterday. Ms. Daphne, how's that?
Sounds good. Okay, so the question was, what happens when you die if you're not a religious person? My dad wasn't religious, so I would like to know what he may have experienced. If anyone can help me, please.
Okay, well, my first comment as it kind of comes to mind, I commented a little bit on the previous episode on this topic. Just imagine how this person feels when, religion teaches that, you're a sinner, you're worthless, you're no good, but you can come, join our crew and go through us. We have the way. You just go with us, do what we say. And picking up with the comments where we left off yesterday, this first person commented and says that being religious and a quote-unquote spiritual being are two very different concepts. That's a very good point there, guys. Keep that in mind. Religions are a business. Another good point. Spirituality is a process, and we all start out as spiritual beings, but we all don't end up that way. Too many confuse one with the other, but they are not the same. Okay, that's a good thing. Let's break that down. Spirituality and religion.
Yes, I love this comment. It is awesome because spirituality is a process. You should be continually wanting to grow, not just staying in one place. Oh, this is it. There's nothing more to learn about this, because you can always grow and expand your knowledge. Be enlightened. It is a process. I love the way this brings it out.
Yeah. And I like it how they say that too many confuse one with the other. So many people think that religion and spirituality, the same thing, but they're not. Spirituality is really the world of spiritual things. It's your spiritual walk. It's your spirituality. It's you acknowledging that spiritual world, which your spirit world, your soul, your being, your all, who you are, has been here since the beginning of time. You see, so you're that spirit being, because you're connected to the Spirit, the Great Spirit. We all are of the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit has been here since the beginning of all beginnings, So, and religion is only, so many thousands of years old. It does have its history here on Earth, and it is man-made constructs and stuff like that. But like we always say on this show, if the religion that you're involved with takes you to a higher place, a better place, a higher you, and teaches you how to love your fellow man, okay, how not to condemn, how not to judge, how not to, and it teaches you a oneness to accept that we all are one, and it doesn't divide you in any kind of way for whatsoever, the world of duality.
Right. With you saying that, there's a scripture that comes to my mind. It says, be of one mind. And when you can be that without being judgmental or condemning another soul because they believe differently or act differently than you do. When you can become that one mind and know that you are connected with everything and everything is you, that God is within you, you are God, that you can grow so much more spiritually than just, okay, this is it. I have all I need, when that's not the case.
It's not. And not only that, but when you understand the concepts of oneness versus duality or dualism, and see how many people are really living in a dualistic society, and then, if you approach life from that perspective, that dualistic, that us against them, we've kind of touched base on this on previous episodes, then that's going to take you to a different place, how you look at that person, how you react with that person. If it's an us against them mindset, that's duality, you see. You don't see that yourself in that person. You don't see that you are all one. You don't see that we're all the same thing, the same person, the same being. That's what oneness is.
Right.
But that's a deep level of comprehension and spirituality that,
it takes a mature person spiritually.
It does.
To get to that point, yeah.
So just keep that in mind. I don't want to get too sidetracked. It's all kind of ties in as well. So the next comment here says that everyone goes to the same place, religious or not. A place of unconditional love.
Yes,
Miss Daphne?
yes. We hear this from just about every account we've listened to, that it is a place of unconditional love, and that everyone goes there, whether you're religious or not. I mean, we have to stop thinking that the way we think is the only way.
Right.
Because that is not the case.
Right.
We can grow and we can learn from each other when you're open to it. If you're closed up, you got your walls up, you're not going to grow. And that's sad to say. I mean, I've been there.
I see a lot of people like that.
Yeah, so I'm not condemning anybody, but I've been there. I've done it. So let the walls down, put the box, get rid of the box, burn the box, be open so you can become more free.
And one more thing I want to mention before we go any farther on this particular comment, that we go to a place of what it says here, unconditional love. And when you really think about the concept of what we call God, okay, that source is what? Love. Mm-hmm. God is love, and God is supposed to be the source of what? Unconditional love. What does it say?
Agape.
Here? We go to that unconditional love, that place of unconditional. Do you know what unconditional means?
Without conditions.
Very good.
I love you, but
that's right.
I'll accept you if you do this.
Right.
You can be a part of my group if you don't do that. Conditions. There are no conditions with source.
And that's what the difference between love and the afterlife and spirituality and the real world has to do with what we would call religion. You see, that's the difference in the two, the difference that makes the difference, like how you just said that.
It reminds me of a comment on one of our recent episodes that unconditional was the radical acceptance of all that is. I mean, wow, when you really think about that.
Yeah.
Radical acceptance of all that is.
Yeah, that's wow. Think about that. When you put conditions on God, that you can only get to God a certain way. You're going to have to believe what we say. You're going to have to go through what we teach. You're going to have to go through our God to get to this God to do that. No.
Yeah.
Just realize that you are divine. You are of the divine, and be the God that you are. Be the love that you are.
Yes.
And create your world of love and peace and connection with your fellow man, and teach others how to do the same.
Yes.
You see? So,
and that's why I love doing this podcast, is because we get to share this knowledge, and there are many podcasts out there. Ours is really no more special than any others, because we're all sharing the same message.
Information, yeah.
The same information is, get rid of the fear. There is life beyond what we are living in this physical body.
Right. Love all, harm none.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Really open your heart and your mind and meditate on these things. I mean, really, you can grow and be so enlightened and have such a love that you never felt before.
Start to practice unconditional love. It's hard because we are all conditioned, and we are
From the
loved
start,
conditionally.
yeah.
Our parents, they loved the best they could. I'm not going to question anybody's love for anyone else. It's not my place to do that.
Right.
However, it's mostly conditions. No, don't do that. Don't do this. You're going to get a spanking if you do this. If you don't do that, so you're conditioned from the time you come into this world, and
Yeah.
most of it is from your family, even
Right.
if they're well-meaning.
I mean, we say we love unconditionally our mates, and really think about this. If you sit here and you say, if you do this, well, I'm going to break up with you, or I'm going to divorce you. I mean, that's putting conditions on it, because they're not living to what you believe, what you think. We have to get rid of those things and accept people for who they are.
Yes.
And if you love them unconditionally.
Let them be who they are.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then work on it. What is it that you don't like about it? Then you need to work on you, because you're the one that don't like it. Let people be who they are.
Yes.
Yes. It's something we are all
works
going through
in
the process
progress.
and working on. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, try loving from that place
And
where
keep in mind,
there's
the unconditional love. That's the point.
acceptance, radical acceptance. If you love somebody, they're not harming themselves, they're not harming you.
Let it be.
Let them be who they are. Don't put conditions on your love for them.
Right. Absolutely. And especially on God itself. When you think about that, what we call
Most
God, that
definitely.
source, that energy, we're talking about unconditional. So you can't put conditions on God. That's the bottom line. You don't put conditions on source, and that's what religion does.
And that honestly, that's what the God of the Bible does. He puts conditions. I love you, but if you do this, I'm going to torture you forever. That's conditional love. This God source, energy source, is unconditional. There's radical acceptance of all that is.
That's a very good way to look at it. A very good way. Moving on along, Miss Daphne, would you like to take the next one?
Yes. Okay. Where would you like to go? Our thought patterns are a very powerful tool. If you are tricked in life believing in hell and think you will go there, then that's exactly where you'll go until you realize you have the freedom to free yourself. The power is always within you. It's time we all realize how powerful we really are. So stop being tricked and controlled. We're all of source light. We have all lived many lifetimes. We never truly die. The energy is just transformed.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Covers a lot of the stuff we've already talked about, but let's go ahead and break it down, because there are some really good elements in here that people, could really definitely benefit from.
Right. This whole comment totally resonates with me. I get every aspect, every point of this comment.
Yeah, let's break it down, by the way.
And it reminds me of some of our review episodes where the person was having a distressing experience and changed their thought pattern and said, no, this is...
And went towards the light.
I'm going to give the example of one that's coming to my mind. Is the woman was in a distressing, hellish void where she heard demons and a voice saying, this is all there is no more. This is all there is no more. Over and over and over. And when she finally had enough, she said, this is not all there is. This can't be all there is.
So she changed.
So instantly.
She changed her mind.
Exactly. And she instantly was in a light, transformed her whole experience from a distressing to a pleasant near-death experience, which that is called a hybrid, if you don't know. So, yes, it is what you are thinking. So those that have had the distressing NDEs, I mean, it's something in them and their belief systems that they had to experience to grow from, a lesson in it for this side.
Right.
So, yeah, it's our thoughts. You know, if you are tricked in believing in hell, then you will go there. There you go. That's exactly what a lot of people experience.
Like it brings up, the power is always within you.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. And it's time that we realize that how powerful we really are. I mean, we really have to accept this and stop being tricked and controlled by religion.
You've got to, if you want the world to change. Religion has done its number. It's tried to fix things, but in fact, it's made it worse.
Yeah, I love the fact that the person knows this. They shared it with us, that we are all of Source Light. We are all from Source.
We've transformed through many lifetimes, lived many different lives, you know. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you know, we have to realize that we are more than this physical body. And we never truly die. We are energy, and energy is only transformed.
Okay, next comment. Religion does not exist past death.
We hear this so much. I mean, it's over and over and over in these comments.
Yeah, it's in harmony with what we said, yeah.
We have to realize that these people have tasted that other side. These books that I have, the Journey of Souls book, he transgresses people back and they experience their lives. They share these different lives. You know, so like this person in the previous comment had said, we all have lived many lives. You know, we're just energy being transformed over and over and over. And that religion is not part of that.
Because God, what we call God, pardon the interruption, that source, is the all. It is the Alpha, the Omega, so humans can understand what they're talking about. But it is the all. It is the beginning. If we are that, you can't die.
Right.
You're just going to keep experiencing life in different ways, maybe different dimensions, different places. You don't really know, but we hear all kinds of stories.
Yeah. Religion is for this side of the world.
It is. It is. Well, moving on along. Would you like to take the next one?
Religion is irrelevant to what happens to our souls. We are all souls having a physical experience, using the biological form to examine and experience things, and energy wouldn't be able to in its natural state. The senses and brain provide the foundation for the soul's diverse learning objectives.
I like that. As we know, religion is irrelevant to what happens to our souls, okay? We are souls having a physical experience, okay? We know that. But I like how it's brought out here that how the soul or the spirit uses these biological forms in order to experience things that just pure energy can't experience. So that's why we manifest into these bodies, into these physical beings in this physical world, so we can actually experience these things.
Yes,
you know?
If you've listened to any of these episodes and come across the episode where we covered this, that we are extensions of God's source energy.
Yeah, experiencing
and
itself.
He created us. It created us so that it could experience. Because it created all these things, but was not experiencing anything. It saw beauty and everything, but wanted to experience.
Right. And there's a difference in just knowing and then also want to experience.
Yeah.
That knowledge.
Go back and find these episodes. I mean, we have a wealth of knowledge from these people that we've gained from listening.
Of course, of course. So moving on along. It says that there is no religion on the other side. Here we go again.
Yep.
The Creator is one, and we are all His children. He loves us and wants the best for us. Okay, that's nice.
Yes,
Sweet.
exactly. I mean, perfect. There you go. He loves us and wants the best for us.
Moving on along.
It's not about religion. It's about a way of life. Thank you. Applaud there. And what you do in life. Be kind, be caring, be loving, and by all means do good. That's all you need.
That is the most truest, purest, accurate answer that I've read probably in this whole episode.
Yes.
It's not about religion. It's about a way of life. And that's what the real Jesus and all these guys taught. All of these masters throughout history, they taught us the way. They taught us a way of life, how to live, how to find our higher self, how to be that God, how to walk in that spiritual world, But religion came along and destroyed all that, and it's made everything external. Then now you have to start worshiping and going to this person. And if you're not doing what we say, we're going to burn you. You're going to be tormented and forever and blah, blah, blah. This garbage, So
it reminds me of, for whatever reason this came to my mind, is the Gospel of Thomas, where Yeshua had took him alone and was sharing some things with him, and he separated from Yeshua, came back out to the other apostles, and they was asking him, what did he say? What did you learn? He said, well, if I told you even one of these things that he told me, you would pick up stones to stone me. Yeah. So, wow. Come on.
Some things people don't need to know.
Yeah. That's judgmental.
Right.
Because he was gaining nuggets, but because of their conditioning, they would have stoned him.
He knew that they wouldn't be able to process it. Like in today's world.
Yeah.
I guess if people could pick up stones and stone you, they would. But when you start talking about religion, you hit on a lot of what's the word am I looking for? I don't want to say heartstrings, but it's something very personal. People are really into their religion. And they associate it. It's part of their identity. Let's put it that way. It's
part of who people are, yeah.
Yeah, once it becomes part of your identity, it's hard for you to separate yourself from your religion. So you got to be careful with that, Same with like sports and things like that. If you identify with a certain team, you'll always speak in the first person. We. Yeah. We this, we that, we this, we that. Well, are you out there on the field playing with these guys? Or are you in the stadiums watching the game?
Right.
Are you out there running around and hustling in this arena, whatever, or you kick back on your couch watching it on TV, but you still say we. Mm-hmm. You see, so when it becomes part of your identity, okay, it's hard to talk to people about certain things because now it's a belief system.
You're challenging them, yeah.
Yeah, and once they get things like that ingrained to a certain level, it's hard, especially the deeper the indoctrination.
Oh yeah.
The deeper the ingrained dogma and doctrine, then the harder it is to talk to people. It really is.
I'm going to say this with you saying that, and it just really takes me back to my belief system at the time. I had just came out of one of the religions and still trying to rewire my thoughts, my beliefs, because I found out that it was not the truth the way that it was presented to me.
Right.
So I had a friend that was sharing nuggets like this, like angel stuff, and at the time, because I was so fresh out of religion, I would not even listen. I would listen, but I had that wall up and I was not listening because I wasn't ready for that. Our knowledge changes on a regular basis, and we covered this in an episode, What is Truth? So, you're able to process what you are capable of, and when you're fresh out of that religion, you're going to be like, or if you're in religion, I can't listen to this, I can't do that. You have to be open to that, and it's going to be at the time when it's going to be for your highest good. And I finally have come to that point where I have learned about these things and I accept these things, and I have grown from it, because back then I was like, I would not even listen with an open mind.
We're all a work in progress.
Because it challenged my belief system.
Right.
So now it's like,
and that's the point,
wow, wow, thank you. I wish I had listened back then.
Right.
Because you can grow so much.
And that's what we're doing is we're trying to get this information out to people so they can really open up their minds, open up their hearts, and really think about what we're saying. You don't have to accept it as part of your belief system. You really don't.
Just listen. Just
keep in mind, you've got tens of thousands on record, if not hundreds of thousands, but I'm sure probably millions of accounts, if not billions, since the beginning of time. We don't know. The beauty of all these near-death experiences is they're all in harmony. They all have their own unique little experience, but they're all in harmony as far as the synchronicity of the actual elements and components and some will have a little bit of this one, and maybe some will have that one, and this person will experience that. And they're all the same experience, you see, in that regard. So the challenge with religion is they're all teaching so many conflicting views, and you'd be surprised at how many wars in history and how many people have been slaughtered, and even to this day are still being slaughtered in the name of religion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
most definitely.
In the name of God, they'll tell you. Well, what God? The God you
be
created?
with us and kill this group. Yeah. That's
the God that you created?
Exactly.
Or the source of love, unconditional love. It's not hard once you open your mind and heart and eyes.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
Moving right on along.
Okay, it says, I can relate to this one. My family were all Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe in life after death. My cousin, no longer a J-Dub, like many of our generation, almost died several years ago and has since discovered his gifts. He speaks to his mother and sees her daily. Our grandfather helps him with his work. Through him, I have found that some of our relatives have struggled when passing due to the confusion of what they learned. God, this moves my spirit.
Wow. Think about that.
Wow.
You found out through him this information on the other side that a lot of our families and relatives and stuff have struggled when passing due to the confusion of what they learned. They couldn't even cross over because of what was going on. You see how that could all take place in somebody's mind? How you would fight that?
Yes.
Wow. Well, let's break this one down. Start from the top, Daphne.
Speaking from experience, I was a J-Dub.
Okay.
And that was the previous comment that I was commenting on when I was fresh out of that religion, was this group. So they teach you that they have the truth. The Bible is the ultimate word of God. You live by it, and their set of rules.
And their copy of the Bible.
And yes, and their copy of the Bible. And they
all 6 versions. I've got all 6 versions.
Yes, true. Yes, true. Okay, so we all have in us the abilities that this person experienced. He says he almost died several years ago and has since discovered his gifts.
Yeah.
This is in every single one of us, is what I'm learning. Uh-huh. That it's your intuition, you're connected to God's source, your higher self. Okay, so, and we're all soul and spirit and energy. So this person speaks to his mother and sees her daily.
Now, let me ask you this, Daphne, pardon the interruption here, from a Jehovah's Witness perspective. And I already know the
Satan done got him, and demons are possessing him.
Absolutely.
Yes.
From a JW perspective, okay.
Demons are possessing
correct.
him.
What would they say about this guy who's,
having a real
killed
experience.
himself, got in an accident, whatever, they almost died, okay?
Yeah.
Had a near-death experience, okay, an out-of-body experience, I'm sure, and went to the afterlife and found out all kind of stuff, okay? Just like
and come back with gifts, as many do.
Yes, as hundreds of thousands of these accounts that we're reading, and learning about. He's doing the same thing that so many others are, regardless of their religion, right?
Yes.
That's a human thing. It's something we all experience. It's got nothing to do with religion. That's the point. So, from a Jehovah's Witness perspective, they're looking at this guy, and he's got superpowers or some kind of special gifts that we all have.
Demonic.
Okay, that's going to be demonic. Yep. He speaks to his mother and sees her daily. Comment.
And even his grandfather works with him daily.
And his grandfather helps him.
Yeah, so from the J-Dub mindset, the teachings, this person is dealing with demons directly.
Yep.
And this person is going to be excommunicated because they are dealing with things that they should not be dealing with, and they will never have contact with their family again if they're living in the cult's rules.
Absolutely. So when you have that kind of mindset, imagine, like they say here, that they've actually found out from the other side.
Yes.
How that that control and that brain manipulation, how that affects a person, even going through a transformation when everything they've been taught, it's got nothing to do with what they're actually experiencing. How they could even, like it says, even resist that, like they struggled.
Right. It just reminds me of a couple of comments back up that, what you think is what you experience. So right here, and they were having issues getting through to the other side because of their conditioning from the J-Dubs about the afterlife.
Which is, by the way, guys, a religion.
It's a cult, as all religions are.
Yes. And so you can see how that really causes more damage to a soul than it does,
Right. And if you really look up what a cult is, it's going to give you a bunch of definitions, and every religion falls under it.
Right. And some fall under all different kind of categories of different cults and things like that.
And a cult is just hidden knowledge and information. It's not demonic.
It's just hidden from the public.
Right.
Get you thinking.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Alrighty. The next comment. The God I believe in is not petty enough to require mindless following of some man-made religion. Wow. He does not require people to follow traditions like belonging and giving money to a church, along with the various machinations involved in the ceremony. He is not jealous. He has no human foibles. He knows what is in our hearts, and he gives us free will. He loves his children and would never burn his beloved children in an eternal inferno.
Okay, so it's all about belief systems we got going on here.
It's all BS.
Exactly.
Belief system.
So this person saying the God that they believe in doesn't require mindless following of a man-made religion.
Okay.
Does not require people to follow traditions like belonging or giving money to a church.
Okay.
And is not jealous, has no human foibles.
And not involved in ceremonies, and God is not jealous. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that...
So he says that he has no human foibles. You want to kind of get some clarification on what a foible is?
Yeah, that we had to look this up. I was like, because that's the first time I heard this word. I'm like, what the heck? So I looked it up, or you did, and it says... a minor weakness or eccentricity in someone's character. And an example of the sentence is they have to tolerate each other's little foibles.
Okay,
and that's something we all do.
So God has no human flaws, is what this person is trying to say here.
Okay, and I like the way you said it a while ago. He knows what's in our hearts. He gives us free will. He loves us, and he would never burn his beloved children in an eternal inferno.
Which one of your kids would you burn in just because
because
to do something on their
they
own
went against what you told them to do?
Right.
Which one you going to pick up and put their hand in a fire and torture them for doing something that you told them not to do?
Well, just throw them in the oven and go and cook them.
Yeah.
Why not? If you're going to be like the God that you preach and teach, then why not? And then if you won't do it, what makes you
why
think
would
God?
he or it? And that's what I'm picking up in reading this. It's like my mind is just triggering now.
God's not.
He.
You see that, don't you?
He.
That's the masculine.
God, source. That energy is
an all.
Is an
both
all.
He and she.
But neither at the same
time.
So I was just picking that up, and it's like
the masculine and the feminine.
And that's
but probably even more appropriate.
Right. Yeah. So, but I picked that up on it, and it's like
you're starting to see it now, huh? Yeah.
Oh,
the Bible's also a man
masculine
influence. When you see how they have, without getting too sidetracked, how the religion came in and really started putting women down, and uplifting men in the church, and just really destroying it when women really used to rule the world. They had a whole lot more power than when men had come in, and they started teaching by force and brutality. And with the women are tuned into more of the love and the emotional. We should be loving each other emotionally. We should be loving.
We bring forth life, and that's why a lot of groups out there say that God is a she because
a lot of people
everything
call
created.
God she,
yeah.
correct. They understand that. And I've even heard the mother goddess and things like that. Jesus, the Jesus character called it Abba, Amma. Yeah, the all parent, mother, father.
Yes.
So even he acknowledged the all source. And of course the Bible, when they took it and translated it and got a hold of it, they turned it into an all he. So they call God a masculine force.
Even going as far as putting women down.
Correct.
You don't do any teaching.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. No.
They learn from their husbands at home. They don't get to come into the sanctuaries. I mean, think about this. How sad that truly is.
It really
when
is.
we're all equal. We are all humans. We are a collective. We are having a human experience here as a collective human race, but yet we all individualize ourselves. I am learning to make those adjustments in my thinking to where I am you are me, I am that person, that person is me. And
all of us.
Yeah.
We're a work in progress.
That's right.
So,
But I'm working on it. I haven't.
At least you are doing that. That's the key. As long as you all guys are all working on it, you are put forth that effort. If you're in a religion and you feel like a part of a family, a part of a home that religion's teaching you love and things like that, absolutely, then by all means grow.
Yes.
But don't settle.
Right.
Because there's so much more out there in life.
There's always room to grow. There is always room to grow.
Life is big. You're so much bigger than religion, guys. Let's put it that way. Let's start saying that. That's going to be a new phrase. Let's start phrasing that, Daphne. You're way bigger than religion. You're so much bigger than religion.
Right. I mean, even thinking about really these NDEers who have had these experiences to where out of the physical body, they are huge, vast energy beings. And coming back to this physical body, how dense it is, how small and tiny, how they feel trapped in this. So, yes, open your mind to that. Wow.
Get you thinking.
Sure will. Put your boots on, y'all.
Would you like to read the next one there?
Yes, of course. You don't have to be religious. Like every other soul, he will pass to the next dimension where he will have time to examine his life. If there is healing necessary for the traumas in this life, then that will happen. Religion is man-made. Some elements of them are true, but they fundamentally miss the whole truth. It's much simpler than the confines and ego of religions.
Quite a few elements in here, Daphne.
Tick up with it. Go ahead.
Of course, like it says, you don't have to be religious. You don't have to be a part of it because you're already a spiritual being. Mm-hmm. Let's get that clear. And like they brought out, that every soul will pass to the next dimension, like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That way, I like how it's brought out here, you'll have time to examine your life.
Mm-hmm.
First thing pops up in my mind is a life review.
Yep, mine too.
And then after the life review, like it's brought out here, if there's healing necessary for the traumas of this life, then that will happen. So we hear stories of even healing areas or places for the spirits to go just to rest, to regather everything, that trauma that you've experienced here in this realm.
Journey of souls, yes. So, in some of our episodes, we've covered this from the comments and all, but that there are like hospitals or schools of learning that the soul can go to heal and grow, continue to grow even on the other side. And in these experiences, there's been a guy, I don't remember his name, I wish I did because I would refer you to it, but he is on YouTube where he transitioned over. He had an experience and saw all these like Roman style buildings and cathedrals and just these different buildings, Greek style buildings as well, that they were schools for healing and growing as a soul. You could see down through there the tables and everything in these big bookshelves with all these books.
Full of people too, huh?
That you could take in books and learn and grow, continue to grow as a soul. And even in the Journey of Souls, it breaks down that there's this one case study that was seeing the Greek style buildings. So there's buildings on the other side, spiritual buildings, where you can continue to heal and grow as a soul. And that's what we are, as a soul.
Yep. And then when you're ready, you have the choice whether or not you want to come back and try it again.
Or if you want to go somewhere else.
Or if you want to go somewhere else, because a lot of people like to come back and try it again. Especially once they go through it and you realize just how short we've actually fallen, to our full potential. A lot of people could probably want to come back, so.
Oh, yeah.
So they say. I don't know. We're still in our time range, so let's go ahead and knock these last few out, Daphne, if you want to take that next one there.
In many NDEs, the person asked God or Christ which was his one true church. The response was
Jehovah's Witnesses.
None.
What?
That does not mean that there is no spiritual purpose to our lives. Spiritual growth is our main purpose in life.
Very good, very good. And I was teasing about the Jehovah's Witness thing because we was talking about Jehovah's Witness.
No, I know, yeah. I get that.
All jokes aside, they teach that they are the chosen.
They teach that they are the only ones
They are handpicked
that have
by
the
God
way.
himself. Think about that. But so does the Catholic. So do the Mormons. So do, thousands of others.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's why so many people have had these NDEs and asked the source energy, which one is the true way, true source to him? And the response was none. Yeah. None. Come on, people.
There's no
jump
true
on board
church.
with this.
Well, why didn't he say Christianity? Or why didn't he say, the body of Christ? Why didn't he say why?
Because like this person brought out, the spiritual growth is our main purpose in life. All of those religions and denominations and cults out there are to help you to grow, continue to grow. Don't get in something and get stagnant. And that's what I was.
Grow.
That's what I was in religion, and I felt that.
Turn into something that you're not.
I did that too. I did that because I was so judgmental when I was in religion. I really was.
Most people are.
And very condemning. So I wasn't the best person then, and I'm still not the best, but I'm growing, and
you're working
I'm
on
looking
it.
at everyone as equals now. I'm loving from a different love than I did when I was in religion. And that's the beauty in this, when there is no religion that carries over, you can love easily.
I think to sum a lot of this up, that religion is more of, I guess it caters more to the world of duality.
Yes, it does.
Us against them, dualism, whereas, the NDEs and the spirituality is more spiritual. It's into that realm. Although religion tampers with that and has the illusion that they are the way to the spiritual, but that's not the truth, Alrighty, so moving on along. This next comment says here, there is nothing. That religion is just a fable meant to keep people busy for nothing. We were created, or maybe we came from a certain source. The same way we came is how we'll return. The soul will just get mixed up with the air, just like what Christ did. There's no such thing as heaven being the state house of God. No. Or such purported gated communities where people will go to live in a mansion. Nothing like that, people. Afterlife is sweet because we'll live just like how our Creator lives, everlastingly. Okay.
Yeah, I like the way the person brought it out. There's no such thing as heaven being a state house for God.
I like that. The state capitol where God hangs out.
Exactly, yeah. Like the presidents live at wherever.
That's human thinking. We got.
The
That's
kings
why
live in a palace.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. There's no place like that for.
And there's so
the
many
eternal.
fundamentalists. So many I know from certain religions. There's and God has all these mansions made, and in my Father's house there are many mansions, and that's not that the original translation. That's not what that meant, and that's not what that's talking about.
But reading the Journey of Souls, I understand that to mean so much more.
Give us that perspective. That's exactly what I was talking about.
There are different places, different houses and stuff, but it's for growth. It's for growing. It's not a place where you're going to go and live in bliss the rest of your life. It is for growth to help you grow as a soul.
Yeah.
And then you get a chance to incarnate somewhere else.
Your ultimate goal as a soul, I like that. Ultimate goal as a soul is to realize who you are. You are that source. And then once you realize that you are God, you'll start acting like God, and you'll start thinking like God, and you'll start transforming yourself like God. And you'll get on this certain vibration that when you go over to that next life, guess what? You're one step closer to that source of being what you want to be and what you need to be, and that's God, what we call God, in the purest way, where you can't sin anymore. Well, if you want to call it sin, for lack of words, but we come here, we learn, but we also make a lot of mistakes. But if you can come here and walk the walk without making any mistakes,
you're going to raise your vibration and your energy, and you're going to grow, mature as a soul, and radiate a different color.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And the Gospel of Peace, here's a little side plug for you guys, of the Essenes, because they're, I don't know the direct relationship, but the original Jesus, or Yeshua, he had some kind of connection with the Essenes. Essenes, the Essenes. Do some research on those guys. That's some really beautiful people, and the way they lived, the way they taught, and stuff like that. And we
Sure.
through research and stuff like that, we found out that probably his whole family was all part of that group. But there's a book out called the Essene Gospel of Peace, and within that book, he actually tells you how to live. He tells you how to eat certain things, what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it, what not to eat.
To raise your vibration and grow
yes,
as a
exactly.
soul.
How to live to keep your vibration up high. How to get rid of sin, what we would call sin, which is just, stuff that you've done to your body and polluted your temple and things like that. You can get all that garbage out. He teaches you all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's mind-blowing, and he teaches that way he says when you transition, you are at such a high vibration that when you transform over, that's just going to be to your benefit. You're transforming as a high vibrating spiritual soul.
Right. And that ties in with what I was going to comment here. It's that this person says that the afterlife is sweet because we'll live just like our Creator lives. That is source energy.
Right.
We transform back to energy, that source, the soul. We're not these physical bodies. So we go back to the same source.
There are times when some of the NDEs come back, but they said they had that all-knowing when they tapped into that source just for that moment
the
of
instant
time.
download.
Knew everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Looking at the clock, we've got time for a couple more. In fact, let's go ahead and take these last two, and that will actually close up the actual episode on this particular topic. So let me catch this one here, Daphne. If you would, just go ahead and catch the last one. But
Okay.
This comment says that religion is man-made. There is no heaven or hell in the religious sense. Okay, I get that. I get that. Religion is man-made. So the heaven and hell is more of a control thing, I would say, probably. It was what they're referring to, like in the religious sense.
In a religious sense, the
When
religious
the
dogma.
truth is, it's more of a mental mind, what word am I looking for? Sense. It's more of a spiritual, mental sense, If you go in thinking and believing that, this is going to be horrific, this is going to be hell and all that,
That's what you're going to
chances are,
experience. That's what you're going to manifest.
Experience it, yeah.
Because you are creator. You come from the Creator. You are a creator. So that's what we have to realize, that we are God.
You create your own world, guys.
We are creators. I mean, look at the people that are out there manifesting, for example. Taking it to a religious sense, when you pray, what are you doing? What are you doing? Really, when you pray, what are you doing? You're praying healing on people. You're asking for things. You're manifesting, but you're calling it a different name.
Yeah, it's all the same
Because
thing.
you are a creator. You came from source energy.
Right.
And you're just getting what you've asked for.
And like it or not, look around the world around you, where you're at in your life. If you can understand this one truth, that you are responsible for where you're at in your life. This is the world that you created.
Because you're a creator.
Because you sometimes in life things happen to people. I get that. And sometimes that what we call that unforeseen occurrences, and sometimes tragic things and horrible things happen to people. Yeah, we experience that. But you'd be surprised at how much of this we bring on ourselves.
You'd be surprised how much of this is in soul contracts and you wanted to experience, but you don't recall that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. So with that thought in mind, let's go ahead and wrap it up. One more here. I'll go ahead and read this last one, and we'll do some final comments. It says that there is no religion over there, just the feeling of belonging, peace and joy, the feeling of being home among family and friends. There was no fear. Now, I don't fear dying, and I am patiently waiting for my time here to pass so I can rejoin that beautiful light.
You hear this from so many experiencers. You really do, that they are patiently waiting to return back. They are looking forward to it. That's the point. And no fear of that experience again, because they've already been there. They've already tasted it. They know what is to come. It releases fear. Releasing fear raises your vibration.
Yeah, think about that. And fear is what a lot of religions teach, Daphne.
Yes, Ashton, it does. I mean,
Most
and
religion
that's
is fear-based. Not all, but a lot.
right. I mean, I could remember when I was young. I mean, being the first time I heard about hell, I'm like, well, if God is all love, then why would he do this to us? For a few things, we made mistakes in the past. Yeah, I didn't understand that. growing and maturing, I started serving out of fear because I didn't want to do anything that was going to land me in hell.
Throw you on the roaster.
Torture me forever. Torment me forever. I mean, no. I mean, I served out of fear.
Right.
Became stagnant in that.
So you wasn't really serving from love. And that's what religion, most religions, with the best intentions, okay?
Yes.
Some are pretty much conditional, and some may have a little bit more unconditional, but I guess it's going to vary. But, a lot of them are with conditions.
Exactly.
Which means it's not a true source.
Right. And if source energy, that God source, is unconditional love, then what is unconditional love? The radical acceptance of all that is.
Without conditions.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, it just, wow. Woo.
So any final comments on this, Miss Daphne? So we're looking back on the actual, and we've done episodes before on this particular topic of, religion and things like that. What's the takeaway for you on this particular episode?
That
or topic, should I say?
Religion is irrelevant to what happens to our souls.
Okay, perfect. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Very good. Okie dokie. Well, with that thought in mind, guys, keep in mind we love you so much. Don't forget to go to the actual website. That's NDE world for more information. And may peace be with you all until next time.
Yalla Jan.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.